Good evening. I wanted to do a video of a before and after installing Windows 10. This is a Dell Latitude E6510. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, a 500 gig hard drive, a first gen Core i5 processor, and an Intel HD video card. So it does not have a dedicated video card. I figured this system, I decided to use this system for a couple of reasons. Number one, I feel very middle of the road as far as performance goes. It's going to be a little bit more powerful than something running like a Pentium processor, but it's definitely not as powerful as something running your current gen Core i processor. Same thing for the graphics. It's nothing to write home about, but it does basic graphics for most people. The other reason why I use this laptop is because I'm not using it for anything else, and so I was able to install a brand new, fresh install of Windows 7 on this system. And all I've done to this system is I installed Windows 7, activated it, and installed 3D Mark, ran Windows updates, and then did a benchmark on the 3D Mark. And as you can see on the screen, obviously, I have my score. And it took 35 minutes and 44 seconds. And this is how long it took everything to run. Yeah, the casual gaming is pretty poor. And it seemed to run. The biggest thing is didn't overheat. I've run 3D Mark on, I know it's a synthetic test. It doesn't really give too much in the way of real world, except for when you compare it against itself. If you run 3D Mark on one system and you get a better score than if you run on another system, there'll be a performance difference between the two. But I laughed because I ran 3D Mark when I very first got the Lenovo 540, the W540, the workstation, and actually overheated and shut down. And this laptop, being much older and a lot more used, had no issues at all. So anyway, so that's my score. A couple other things I wanted to check, because one thing I noticed on some of my other systems that after I upgraded, I actually had significantly more hard drive space. So right now on this one, I'm running, I get 416 free of 465, and that's the big number. I don't know, I'll have to do a little research, but it seems like the total available disk space is higher after installing Windows 10. Now this has been on other systems. I'll have to go back and see if it's the case on this system. All of those have had some sort of SSD, whether my little tablet with its internal storage or my workstations. This is just a spindle hard drive, so I don't know what effect it will have on it. I don't know if there's a controller or drivers or something that makes more efficient use of an SSD over a standard hard drive. But 416 gigabytes free of 465 gigs free. If I just, again, the only thing open right now is the 3D Mark, or the 3D Mark, or PC Mark I should say, and it's using 1.63 gigs of 8 gigs and CPUs chugging along in single digits. So we'll go ahead and update. I'll run the PC Mark again, and we'll see what the score is after the update, to see if, as far as a performance test. Now this should be testing the hardware, right? So it shouldn't have that much of an effect, but there's so many other things going on in the background of your operating system, as well as improved just overall software performance, that there could be an improvement in performance. It seems like there on my other systems I've updated that there has been an improvement in performance, but that's just been my perception. This is the first time I'm actually doing any kind of performance benchmarking on hardware I physically have in my possession. All right, so I'll be back after the jump. All right, so I have finished updating to Windows 10, as you can see, from Windows 7, and I definitely got an improvement in performance. Just going over some of the numbers, the previous overall score was 1707, and this is 1727. It's a little over 1% improvement. Test duration was about the same. It took about 30 seconds longer. Writing took about a second longer, but video encoding actually took 10 milliseconds less time. Web browsing about the same. Casual gaming improved just slightly. Advanced photo editing, I believe a lower number is better. So the last one was 0.94. This is 0.87. So that's better. Web browsing, again, I believe lower is better here, and it's about 0.01 seconds faster. Or no, excuse me, slower actually, but the playback is better. So these differences are extremely minimal. Probably most people wouldn't notice it either way, and it's probably within an allowable standard deviation of performance. But it just overall, the performance seems snappier with the Windows 10 versus the Windows 7. Oh, and free space. Now, every system I've installed Windows 10 on over Windows 7, I have gained back a fair amount of space, and I've had people comment on my videos that that's due to all the accumulation of updates and things like that over time. This is a fresh, clean install, and yes, I did run Windows updates, but it only had a few hundred megs of updates to install, and I gained back over 9 gigs of space on the hard drive, which for, if you have a terabyte drive, that's not that big a space, but for some of my other systems, mainly my tablets and stuff, that only have a 32 gig storage in them, and that's locked to that. Getting back a few gigs of space is really important. So if you have an older system, you're running Windows 7, you think you would like to update to Windows 10, I definitely would recommend doing that. There's a lot of benefits to upgrading without a lot of drawbacks. I don't think, if nothing else, if I didn't improve performance on the system, it definitely didn't hurt performance. So you get a lot of the upgraded features without hurting performance. I have a really old laptop that had Windows XP on it, and when I upgraded that from Windows XP to Windows 7, the laptop became almost unusable because of the lack of performance. So again, my recommendation is, the older system, you have a free upgrade available to you, go ahead and upgrade. I definitely think that you will be happy with the results. Thank you.